Hi, welcome to the second part of week 11 in Sociology 336, the Sociology of Work and Technology. Today we're going to be talking about Alex Rosenblatt's book, Uberland, or at least a few chapters from it. So, as some of you may or may not know, Alex Rosenblatt completed her master's degree here at Queen's University in the Department of Sociology. So she is a Queen's alum. She currently works at Data and Society, which is a research organization located in New York City. This book comes in part from some of her research conducted for her master's degree, conducted here at Queen's, but also was conducted in both Canada and the United States. Now, this work, I think, touches upon both the issues of classification that we discussed last week and the issues brought up by Shore and Vallis this week. And so something you can think about when you're reading Rosenblatt's work is, what kind of workers are these? Right? Shore and Vallis describe, they provide a typology of platform workers. What kind of workers are these drivers? What are the issues of classification that are raised by these chapters that are put forth by Rosenblatt? And you can think about that in terms of the Salas thing. But going back to the Shore and Vallis, you can also think about not only what kind of platform is this, but what does Rosenblatt's evidence, what way of conceptualizing platforms does Rosenblatt's chapters support? And if you remember, Vallis and Shore provide 4 or 5 different kinds of ways of conceptualizing platforms. Does her work maybe support one of those over another? That's something you might want to think about. Okay, so Rosenblatt, I really think she does a good job of really illustrating how Uber attempts to blur the lines between employee and entrepreneurship, or being an independent entrepreneur. And this blur lines, it starts with classification. Right? They're told that they are independent contractors. They're not workers. They're independent contractors here. And key point here is that they provide their own equipment, a car. They have a choice of when they work. They have control over how they work, how they drive. Or so you would think, based on the fact that they're told that they're independent contractors. Now, Uber would like you to think that you're an entrepreneur, a business of yourself, an independent contractor in business for themselves. You don't work for the platform in their view, but the platform enables you to build your own business. Entrepreneurship for all seems to be what they offer. Free to choose your own destiny out on the platform. Does it sound appealing to you? It might. Maybe it doesn't. Does it seem like it's correct based on what you read? Does the platform really enable entrepreneurship for all? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Now, let's think about what an entrepreneur is. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, it's a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. So do Uber drivers operate a business? If so, what is that business? Business of themselves? Do they operate Uber? Certainly not, but maybe they run themselves as an enterprise. Do Uber drivers seem to take on more risk than normal? Seems as though they do. But risk, at least in the way that economists and economic sociologists use the term, typically means the calculable chances of a return on an investment or a loss on an investment, right? Key term there is calculable, something you can know. Now, based on these two criteria, Rosenblatt says, no, they're not entrepreneurs at all. They're dependent contractors, dependent upon the platform. Well, why is that? Why would she say that? Well, think about how the app works. Users request a ride. One user, one with the car, the ride provider. Another user who drives picks up the ride. The person providing the ride, the driver, has no knowledge of where they're going. They can't calculate anything about the potential return on their investment of time and resources on that ride. But they do get bonuses for driving certain times. They're told when to work. They get bonuses for the number of rides during those times. They're told how quickly to work. These are incentives as to how and when to work. Slight nudges in the direction that the platform wants. Some people might describe this as controlling labor, telling people when and how to do their job, and thus drivers are not independent contractors but are in fact working for the platform. The app also tracks how many rides you give if you're a driver. If you drop too many, you could be deactivated. Key thing there. Not fired. Workers are fired. Employees are fired. But these are deactivated, right? They're users, not workers. They're not even a contractor by that standard, by the language that Uber uses. They're just users. And users can be deactivated, and they don't have to be protected by any kind of labor laws. Drivers' apps track driving habits. They check for, was there a smooth deceleration? Did the car seem to be going smoothly along turns? And it nudges drivers in particular ways. If you're not driving how Uber would like you to drive, you could be deactivated. So again, employees or contractors who are, entrepreneurial contractors. Well, we talked a little bit. It seems like they're kind of controlled by the platform. Let's examine how they're paid. How are wages calculated? Can they make an entrepreneurial decision as to whether this is an appropriate use of their time? Well, they would need to know how much they could potentially earn in any given time to make that entrepreneurial decision. To choose to take a risk, you need to know how to calculate the risk. Well, the app prevents them from doing that. How are their wages calculated? There's no real way to know. Changes frequently, overnight, oftentimes without notice. The calculations are black box. So again, entrepreneurship, what do you think? They're really not able to make a calculated risk because they're not provided with enough information. And in fact, this information is systematically hidden by the platform. So, with that in mind, I want you to ask yourself, do you agree with Uber? Or do you agree with Rosenblatt? And if so, why? I want you to really think to yourself, well, why do I agree with this person over this other person? And I want you to leave you with one thought. Uber and other platforms, they often say that they're new, innovative, disruptive. They're going to shake things up, man. But is that the case? Well, think about it. In this class, we've read about piece rates. We've read about technical and algocratic control over work. Are those new, then? Because that seems to be exactly what Uber does. Exactly how other platforms operate. So are these so new, then? Seems like a lot of other forms of work kind of predate Uber and really resemble the sort of formal structure in terms of payment, in terms of people being told how they do things, when to do things. And so, you have to really think to yourself when you look at this stuff, these supposedly new technologies, is this future or is it the past?
Is it future or is it past?
All right, well, with that in mind,
Be seeing you.